4Drive 24/7, we pride ourselves on tackling the toughest off-roading adventures this country has to offer. But in this episode, we're about to take things to the next level as we tackle the hardest tracks we've ever filmed. That's right, this trip, we're doing things my way. I've lined up 3 insane 4-wheel drives and 4 of New South Wales' hardest 4-wheel drive tracks. We're going to hit all of them. 4 huge days, 4 mental tracks, no workshops and no stops.
You're not hanging around, you bloody beauty!
This might just be 4Drive 24/7's toughest adventure ever. A road trip like this calls for serious off-road vehicles, and that's why I'm heading to Kinsella's Customs to meet up with my good mates Matt Kinsella and Kaido from Drifter Camping and 4-wheel drive. We reckon we've got just the rigs to tackle New South Wales' hardest tracks, with Kaido wheeling his solid axle swapped N70 HiLux, which is running patrol diffs front and rear. Recently, Kaido's done a big power upgrade under the bonnet, with a high mount turbo setup and a custom inlet plenum that he made himself in the workshop at home. Repping the older generation of Luxies is my own SAST N60 HiLux. It might not have the same amount of power as Kaido's, but it's running 4/7 reduction gears, as well as a double triangulated 4-link rear custom suspension setup as well. Now Matt would normally be joining us in his own N60 HiLux as well, which is also solid axle swapped, but he's running a later model HiLux engine with an auto. Recently though, he parked the Luxie up in the shed so he could do a body swap, and there's still a bit more work to get done, so he's not driving it on this trip. Fortunately, there's another 4-wheel drive here that I reckon Matt could take. And here she is. What a rig. Thought she was done, but not quite. Oh, stop it. So I brought this down here a couple of weeks ago because we're planning to do a bit of TLC on it, give it a bit of love, new guards and stuff like that. So I brought it down here and parked it up the back. But seeing as it's here, I thought we'd get her out for one last trip before we give it some love. Yep, the LM106 Pony Lux might be a bit battered and bruised after some big trips, but I reckon she's ready for another adventure. Just as soon as I make some room around the guards for the new Mickey Thompsons I just put on. Even better, this also means we're going to have 3 generations of HiLux for this trip. Which one is going to dominate? Well, I guess you'll just have to watch and find out. And our first track of the trip is going to be an absolute ripper. Hey guys, before we get into the show, and we're really proud of this one, so we hope you enjoy it, but I just wanted to have a quick chat about the tracks we're about to do. They're not beginner tracks, so if you're planning to do them after watching this video, make sure your vehicle's set up appropriately, you go with people who are experienced, and you have appropriate recovery gear and spares. The tracks are not for the faint-hearted, and you can get caught out if you go up there unprepared. Other than that, hope you enjoy the show. Cheers. We've got a bunch of 4-drive destinations on our list for this trip, but when it comes to New South Wales' toughest off-road tracks, there's one name that immediately comes to mind. For that, we're starting out our trip on the south coast in the Yalwal region. The track we've got planned is one of the most infamous in the country, and it's the perfect way to kick off our road trip with a bang. And that track is of course 6 Stage, one of the gnarliest rocky climbs you'll ever attempt, with challenges including V-Rock and of course the notorious 6th Stage. By the looks of things, there's been a lot of rain in the area recently, so I reckon the track is going to be pretty darn spicy. With some capable rigs along for this trip, I've decided to up the stakes and have set a few challenges for the boys. And that's to take on at least 1 track a day, camp every night in a new spot, and most importantly, handle all repairs on the run with no workshop visits. We've packed plenty of tools and spares, but I have a feeling we might be swinging past a few wreckers along the way. As so often is the case on day 1 of a big trip, time has really gotten away from us, and by the time we packed the rigs and got down to Yalwal, the afternoon is already getting on. But before we even start rolling the cameras, I've hit some trouble. So, update, just before we get down to the track, we've stripped the compressor, we're just taking it off to see if we can clean the brushes so I can try and get my lockers working. Ugh. Look at that. Oh, I think we know why it's not working.
What? The piston still works?
Yeah. So in theory, if we clean it up and free it, might be okay. You're pretty handy on the tools, Matt. Glad I brought you along.
Oh, isn't that why don't you bring me along?
Yeah, it's the only reason. I don't know how to do anything.
I can tell.
Righto, so we've stripped the compressor, cleaned it, put it all back together, had to take it all apart, and now we're doing a test, and it runs, but it's a bit temperamental.
keep a hammer in the door and just... Oh, cool. Well, it kind of works.
Well, we fixed it. I wouldn't trust it.
No.
One of the quickest ways to access 6 stage is to head down Monkey Gum from the top. And on the way down, my locker compressor is continuing to play up and I've already had to winch myself down the hill.
We're not even on the track yet, and this is the second time I've had to winch Jock out of a hole.
There's no way I'm going to be able to take on one of the hardest tracks in the country without lockers. So what I ended up doing is stripping my other compressor that I use for tyres, and I used the motor from that compressor in the one under the bonnet so I could run my lockers. At last, with the day almost over, we make it to the start of the track, only to discover there's a few fallen trees blocking the route. A run on 6 stage can typically take anywhere from a few hours to a 14-hour breakage-filled epic, and with conditions looking wet, we could be in for a difficult attempt. Still, we set a track a day in this challenge, so here we go.
Six stages here, we're ready to party, come on. There we go, yeah!
The first few sections of 6 stage are pretty mental for your average 4B, but these Luxies are insanely capable, and with the tyres aired down to 10 psi, they're making it look almost too easy.
It's a little bit wet, but seems like there's plenty of grip on this first bit.
It's 6:30 at night and we just started the first stage. But there's a couple of good kids having fun, that's half of it I reckon. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that's it! Pony! Too much horsepower.
Ahead is the first serious challenge of the track, a deep and rocky rut that needs perfect wheel placement and a committed exit line. First off though, we've got to clear the way through. This rut is also notorious for denting the back of wagons if you try to take a full-size four-wheel drive up here. Fortunately, all three of us are in utes, so we should be okay. Okay, I'm up first. Let's see how this goes.
Yep, that's perfect, mate. Hold right hand down, hold that. Hold it.
On a track like this, you can really see where having a good set of lockers and some reduction gears to help keep the torque down low while you're driving really comes into its own.
A little bit right. Ah! All right, keep it moving up. Get up the bank.
A good spotter is essential for this kind of wheeling, and Matt's got me on a perfect line.
Good, mate. You all right? Keep driving.
Tell you what, this Luxie might not be much of a showboat, but she sure is capable.
How's that sway bar?
Well done, mate.
Ew.
Good drive.
Slippery.
Yeah?
Yeah. That feels so wild all the time.
You beauty, Luxie's back. It's a wild hill climb that. The rut is deep. Well, that's the quiet achiever up. Let's see what Matt and the pony can do.
That's it, yeah, stay on that. Stay on that. Come to me, come to me, come to me. Yep. Touch it right, that's it.
That's all it's
Stay on that. Touch it right. Yep. Yep. Stay on that. That's it though. Your tyre slipped in like the exact same spot mine did.
Oh,
You go back like a half metre.
not really. Look at the poor tub.
Oh yeah. Oh. That's it. That's it. Come to me.
Come on, pony.
She wants it. Oh, I reckon maybe come up and steer right hand down up here.
Okay. Whatever you reckon, Nabby.
That's it.
Ah! Come on, pony.
Close. You might not get back. Oh.
Oh, it's a bit wild. You can try come right hand down and forward, but it's a little bit spicy.
I'm on the slider pretty hard, I think, mate.
Yeah.
Can I just back out?
So with the pony being on smaller tyres and not having as much suspension travel as the solid axle swap Luxie, it means that once she got into the hole, it didn't have the suspension to move through and keep the vehicle level.
She's not going to get it. I don't want to break it. Poor little guy. We'll give it a little tug, pull the front down, and she'll drive out.
Winch in.
And would you look at that, the pony was so close to driving this. That's pretty
That's
impressive.
it. Starting to feel
There
better
he
now.
goes.
Yeah.
Hardly needed anything.
That's all she needed.
The pony came through okay, but the canopy Sean and I built in the shed is a little dinged up.
Just pulled the pop rivets out on the canvas, dog.
Oh, okay. So we can just get
That was engineered by design as a
fail point.
A fail point.
Fuse.
Yeah, fuse. Fusible link.
You only get the best at Shock Customs.
That's it.
Look at that. Who'd know? What a good car.
Soon enough, the daylight is running out. But hey, who wouldn't want to have a crack at 6 stage at night, eh? Oh no.
Well, it's Kaido's first time up 6 stage in his recently sassed Luxie, and this is a big rut, so we'll see how he goes. Fortunately, he's got a lot of power and he's got those fancy lights that change colour, so I reckon he'll be right. Righto, mate. That's it. Stay on that. Just, yeah, there's nothing really there stopping you. Just try and go back a bit.
I reckon he's on his rear diff, eh?
Yeah. Your Mega Patrol rear diff.
Kaido's solid axle swap does make this rig insanely capable, but sometimes there is a cost to upgraded running gear. Patrol diffs are much bigger than HiLux ones, so his diff pumpkin is letting him down.
Yeah. You're just not grippy. So I would just go straight, don't hit this big root system, and just have a little bit of speed. Use some of those horsepowers you just got. That's it, go, go, go.
There we go. On that. Yep. Touch it left. Touch it left. Oh. Yep, stay on that. Little more left. That's it.
Oh, that's spicy.
Do you want to try and go back? Go right hand down and try and get up this bank?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. See right? Yep, drive it. That's it.
There we go.
Well, it's now 20 past 8. It's getting dark. Just makes it that much more challenging. Oh, night run on 6 stage. How good, hey?
Come on, pony.
With that challenge under our belts, we're getting closer to the section of track that makes 6 stage so infamous. But there's a few slippery climbs to navigate first.
I'll give it one more go, then we'll winch.
Yep, sounds good. That's it. Whoa! Oh! Yeah, let's winch.
It's just deceivingly slippery.
Come on, Kaido. Long dog too, be easy.
Long dog, yeah.
Come on, long dog.
That's it, long dog. Yeah!
She always lost it.
That's better.
That's it.
Already we've seen some awesome drives and each of the HiLux generations have been pretty competitive. But up ahead is a challenge that's going to test every single rig. The notorious V-Rock.
Look at this, eh?
Famous V-Rock. Doesn't get any easier at night. What do you reckon, first time seeing it?
Probably watch you two go up first and see what the line is, eh?
Very true. Last time we were here, the pony didn't end well.
No.
Did a door.
But it did have a different driver.
True, true. I mean, I've got to drive my car up still. My car has done this, but I think you remember, I was just a passenger, my eyes were closed. I was just like, oh, I'm up, sweet.
Yeah,
But,
it was also a while ago. Things change every time you come here, doesn't it?
And it's 20 past 9, so well and truly into a night run, boys. Let's get into it, eh?
Righto.
Still got to do this bit first.
The path to V-Rock is a rock garden that's almost as hard as the main challenge. Getting through this one takes
That's
pinpoint
it.
accuracy and a lot of pivoting off your bar work.
Righto, now come to me. Yep. Get the front up to me. Right. All right, well. Nice job, mate. Good control. Righto, just creep it up there, dude. It's probably going to pivot a little bit, so maybe just try and get ready to counter it. Try this.
Yep.
If it's not going to drive it, get left, then come back around the back of it, okay?
Yep.
I'm having a bit of a hard time finding the right line in the dark,
Underneath.
and soon enough I've got myself into a tricky spot.
Oh, there goes your guard.
Oh. We're trying everything to get through this section, repositioning, chucking in rocks, even backing right down to try a different line up, but I just can't get the line quite right. And eventually, it looks like I'm going to need to winch through. With the Luxy hooked up, I'm soon climbing through the rocks, but if you haven't noticed already, there's a new problem that we're about to discover.
Sounds like steering related. What? Tail shaft? Well, there is one weak point on this car, and it's my tail shaft. Just because it hangs a little bit low and it's one piece. And as you can see, I've just done another one. Fortunately, I have a spare, but I got lazy and I didn't change. My spare is my, what I call my feed shaft, and it's on the back. I've even written off-road use only on it. And that was my nice one. Ah, don't get lazy. Oh, poor Luxy. I mean, if our cars take as long to get through as yours, Jock, I think we might be sleeping just here. Yeah, you're not wrong. Well, there's a good flat spot just past V-Rock.
Doing a tail shaft isn't the end of the world if you've got a spare, but now that I'm down a shaft, I'm going to winch the 4W over the rock that caused the problem before I put in the spare.
Good spot to do it.
Yes. Fortunately, the uni's on the transfer case, so I'm just going to slide it onto the slip joint of the old tail shaft, which is just on the back.
Now, we said we'd be doing all our repairs trackside for this trip, and honestly, who needs a workshop when you can have a cold rock on the side of 6-stage to work with? Oh dear.
Right, so new shaft's in, so I've got 4-wheel drive again. Still got to do V-Rock, but that's okay. I'm pretty much up this section. Just having a bit of dinner, and then away we go. Cool. Now the hard bit.
Nah. Go back, we just got to get over a little bit more. It was hitting the bar. Get right as much as you can. Yeah. Now steer into it.
If you get V-Rock wrong,
mate.
you can find yourself in a world of hurt. So we're taking this pretty slow and careful.
Wow, that's slippery.
Just let her eat.
The rocks here are still quite greasy from the rain, but slowly the tyres are drying out the line and the front makes its way over.
Where am I? Front? I can't see ya.
I'm over here. Get left. Now come right. You're gonna have to drive that a bit more committing if you want it, mate.
Yeah.
Back up.
I'm trying to keep it nice and controlled here, and I'm on a pretty good line, but the Luxy doesn't quite have enough oomph to pull itself over.
All right, ready?
If you can imagine, what's happening right now is I'm essentially sitting on the sliders with my front and rear tyres just scrabbling for traction, and I'm not going anywhere.
I don't really want to slip off this rock anymore. No.
After rain, just hasn't had a lot of sun on it just to get that moisture out of the rock, and it's still a bit slippery. And it's also a big rock. But yeah, I just really don't want a repeat of what happened last time. I was winching through this crack and then the pony sort of slipped and I smashed that back window. So we're just hooking up and trying to be safe with it.
Nah, I'd love to have driven this one, but on tracks like this, you've really got to know when to call it, and I'm just happy to make it through this one with no damage. Alright, time for the little rig that could. Bring on the pony. It might be on 33s with just a 2-inch lift, but Matt reckons he can get it through, and so we jump onto some rock packing to help him out. It takes a solid half hour of repositioning and repacking, but ever so slowly, the pony is crawling to the top.
Jocko, you done that before? I'll tell you what, that's pretty impressive getting a little Luxie on 33s up here without a winch. He knows what he's doing, old Matt.
It's well after midnight by the time we're lining up for V-Rock again, and this time we're trying a new option.
Well, last time the pony was here, I smashed a window. So we're gonna try a different line. Last time we sort of came up here and then pivoted around. I slipped off that rock when I was winching. This time we're gonna try and leave a tyre in the little V. We've packed it a fair bit and also put a couple of max tracks down because that rock's a bit more safe. It's still a bit wild, but I reckon we'll have a better chance to square up to it and then we can probably winch from there. But he might drive it, who knows? Shown me up so far, so I reckon he's in with a chance. Righto, mate. Yep, that's mint. Yep, that's it. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, but we got left hand now, is it?
Yeah.
Oh wait, we don't have left, do we? Tell me when you reckon I'm good enough, mate.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more left. That's a good lock. Ah, clearance dog.
Lift kit, mate.
Yeah. All right, what do you want to do?
Just winch it.
Yep.
I don't want to break it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Is that not mine?
All right, do you just want to straighten your wheels if you can?
No.
We'll do the winchy boy.
Well, that was a solid attempt, but once again, V-Rock has come out on top. We're using my rig as an anchor point for this one, and Matt's soon on his way. That's 2 for 2 for V-Rock against the pony, which begs the question, what mods do you reckon we'll need to do to help the Luxie beat it? Let us know in the comments below.
That is not something you can do with, like, you can't steer this unless you have 3 hands. So how do you do this and this?
Yeah. Last rig up the climb is Kaido's N70.
All right, here comes the wristy, boys. Holding on loosely, right hand down, go round the rock.
Having a longer wheelbase is not always an advantage in this kind of terrain, and Kaido is struggling to pick a way through the rock garden.
Now get left. Oh, no. You're on your centre.
Yep.
You want to winch from there, mate?
Yep.
Just like I did, Kaido's opted for the winch to make it through the rock garden, which leaves the pony the victor for this one. With V-Rock, Kaido's got a bit more power to play with and soon has the front wheels over.
That's perfect. Now go left. Yeah, the boys! Now it's touching. But that wheel's about to climb.
Yeah, this one isn't.
The Luxie's on the noise, but clearing that bar work is proving difficult.
It went up the max tracks, tucked up the garden, was on top, and then the max tracks came out and went back down.
Well, we've had some solid cracks at V-Rock, but we're going to just have to come back another time for another crack and a clear run, I reckon. You can see here why bar work is absolutely essential if you're going to tackle this track. For now, we're just stoked to have made it up without any other major damage. And with the night getting on, I reckon everyone's pretty keen for the chance to park up and get a bit of shut-eye.
Long dog. Well, we made it through V-Rock relatively unscathed, which is a good thing. No smashed doors today, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning and there's a nice flat spot just up there. So I reckon I'm just gonna roll our swags out and yeah, probably tackle the rest of the track in the morning. But yeah, pretty stoked we got through this. Means that after that, there's just a bunch more challenges left. How good's this, eh?
It's been a massive day and I for one can't wait to get the canvas rolled out, but trust me when I say this trip has barely even started.
Hey guys, right now Oricom have an absolute ripper of a deal on a complete UHF setup with a UHF 305 micro and a black 6.5 dBi antenna. Now right now, you can get both of these delivered with free shipping anywhere in Australia for just $199. The recommended retail price of this whole setup is $358, so you're saving $159. So if you want to get yourself a brand new UHF setup, have a look at this one because it's an absolute ripper. The transceiver is tiny, so you can mount it pretty much anywhere in your vehicle. You can also flip the screen on this one as well, so if you want the cable coming out that side or that side, depending on your setup, you can change it. You've got some quick change buttons on the top as well, so you can cycle through channels easily. And a 6.5 dBi antenna is a really good all-rounder for flat open areas and hilly terrain as well. So if you want to get a brand new UHF setup in your four-wheel drive for just $199 delivered, jump on it quick at oricom.com.au.
The daylight seems to have come around pretty quickly this morning, and after a few hours of shut-eye, it's time to get back into it. In the cool light of day, we can see last night's challenges a little more clearly, along with the aftermath of some running repairs. You've really got to be prepared for a few breakages on tracks like this, but with a heap more destinations to hit up on this trip, I'm going to be on the lookout for a spare tail shaft we can pick up somewhere along the way. For now though, we've got the rest of 6 stage ahead of us, which means a quick coffee and a feed is in order as we get ready for another massive day.
Day 2, 6 stage.
I reckon we found the one flat spot on the whole track, and right up ahead, the track's climbing steeply straight up again, with a tough rocky section facing us right out of the gate. The camera boys have already walked the track this morning, and they found another bit of track clearing that's needed before we get going.
This is going to be interesting. Fortunately, this car has about 4 kilowatts on a downhill stretch with a tailwind. And this hill is super steep, super slippery, hasn't been driven in a while and it's been raining. Alrighty, Luxy, let's see what you can do. Come on. Come on, mate! You got it, old girl. Yeah. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can. Yeah, there you go. Do it. You're not hanging around, you bloody beauty. Yeah.
You've done it.
Well done.
You can see under there, it's got a little bit of grip onto that
Yeah, once you
clay,
take off that top inch of mud.
Yeah.
Who needs horsepower when you have 35s, reduction gears, and a light dog crawly boy?
I mean, the pony's got twice the power of Jock's car does, so it's going to be easy.
RIG spells HiLux.
Come on, pony! Jock got up, let's see if we can't.
Oh, you little ring.
Let it go.
Go, 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 go! Woo! Yeah! Stay on it! Come on, you beauty! I think he's hard up on that rock.
So close!
So close!
Yeah. You maybe try a second bump, like a...
That was second.
Or like a...
There you go! Woo!
Ah, yeah!
He's
Good
up.
job! Come on, don't stop here!
Oh,
Yeah, the
he's
pony!
oh, she's got some fight in her, that old truck. What an absolute weapon!
What a car, eh? In the wet too, that is a slippery hill.
How fun is this? Kaito, get that HiLux up here, let's go. Oh, I feel like Graham, all giddy and like a schoolgirl.
It's a good start to the morning.
First obstacle of the morning, we've got a super slippery clay hill. It's yeah, much steeper than it looks on camera. So probably try and grab second gear just up here and see how we go, eh?
Mate, 3 generations of HiLux on this hill. The first 2 are up, the N50 and the N60. Now the N70 with probably double the horsepower of both of them. This is going to be cool.
Yep, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Come on, mate. Come on, Kaido.
Oh, it's just bouncing up.
That's it, mate. Oh, on the diff. How unfortunate.
Troll diffs, mate. Mega dog.
Try and come around it. Get the wheel on the rock.
Yeah.
That's it, brother.
That's
Perfect.
it. Now go from there. Can you like spool it up a bit beforehand?
Yeah, that's it. Go.
Oh,
Well, he
my
definitely
goodness.
boosted it up there.
Wow.
Be good to accelerate.
Yeah, must be nice having power. That
Yeah.
was sick. All right, onwards.
All right, on to the hard bits.
Not many people tackle 6 stage at the best of times, but after a wet few months the track is looking particularly undriven, and that suggests the final and biggest challenge of the track is going to be pretty darn difficult.
This is a tail shaft banger, this rock. I'm already on my spare, so we'll see how we go.
Perfect.
Beautifully packed, boys.
And with that, we're on to the big challenge of 6 stage. And in fact, it's the one for which this track gets its name, the 6th stage.
This is my favourite part when somebody comes for the first time, seeing their face. Welcome, Kaido. Jock's obviously not confident. He's already carrying winch equipment to the top.
Yeah, right.
Yep, this one is an absolute doozy. It takes a lot of commitment and careful line choice, but today's biggest concern is just how slippery these rocks will be.
All right, final stage on 6 stage. It's the big one. This car has driven it before, but it was a lot drier.
He might need a guide here. There goes another flat guard.
Ooh.
That was close. You now have a matching guard.
I don't think alloy guards suit my style, eh?
Maybe tube.
Yeah.
Then they just take the hit. That's good, mate.
Soon enough, I'm onto the climb, and just as I thought, these rocks are pretty greasy.
You're not stuck on anything.
Just get some heat into the tyres.
It's incredible how little traction is available here, but all it takes is just the tiniest bit of extra grip or an adjusted angle and you can be on your way.
Might have to try and bring the front over a little bit, mate.
You reckon second?
If you can take off there and hold it, as long as I'm not going to load it up too much. Just still load it up so it gets a bit of speed.
There it is.
Oh, I backed off! I backed off!
Never lift.
Never lived!
So you're in a good spot still. You're kind of up, but not really.
I was up, eh?
You shouldn't have backed off, eh?
Yeah.
So as you feel it come up, you want to come right again,
Yeah.
and then you got to keep into it.
Yeah.
All right, well.
After that first attempt, the rear end of the Lux has moved further to the right, and the approach angle has just gotten worse.
Let's winch.
That was it.
I've given it a few good cracks, but it's a no-go.
Old Revy boy, I reckon you better pump it up that. That's it, mate. Good job. Front locker.
Well, I reckon she wanted it. She was hungry for it, but it's like, how many times do you keep trying before something goes pop? That was good fun. Last time we were here, we did a CV on here, so hopefully that doesn't happen again.
This thing's left is not ideal for this.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
The little pony.
Beautiful.
Steering's not our strength.
No, but that way, and you don't need that way, so it's okay.
Okay.
That's what happened to me, I think. So I think that the housing on the pony, the driver's side knuckle might be a bit bent, because what's happening is the J-arm has come down, and then the drag link is hitting the top of the leaf spring, which means when he turns left, it comes forward and hits the top of the spring hanger, the U-bolt. It means he can't really turn left that much. Makes it a little bit more challenging on these tracks, but he's a veteran, he'll be right. Yeah, that's nice. Just come right again as you come up. Yep. Oh.
We've played this game before.
Yes, we have.
Don't want to really hurt it,
Yeah,
man.
that's fair enough. Do you want to winch from there?
Yeah. She doesn't have the power to get second.
Yeah.
And we've got to give something to Kaido to beat us on.
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much settles it. Kaido's going to have to drive this one. No pressure, mate.
Bit of rope pro.
First, though, there's a pony in the way we've got to get clear.
That's right.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's it, that's it.
Good luck, mate.
Done.
Righto, let's see if Kaido can send it home in style.
Perfect. Nah. Woo-wee! Ow. Yeah, come up like that. Nah. You have to throw the front over a little bit. Yep, now get left hand down. Full lock, mate. That's better. Right
That's
hand
it.
down. Beautiful.
That's it.
And you're on line there, mate. That's good.
On that?
You want to track your wheel sort of straight up here, okay? This
Yeah,
wheel.
so sort of go up and then a little bit of left.
Yeah.
Lucky you've got sliders.
Kaido's in a similar spot to the last two rigs, but he's got one thing we didn't. Power on tap.
What's that? Go right it down. Right it down. Just right it down. Left front.
You got to keep driving.
She wanted it.
She wants it, mate.
The Luxie is so close to making this, but 6 Stage is not giving up without a fight.
Wait there, Kaido. I'll put something in this front corner job.
Yeah.
Let's see if a bit of track building can make the difference.
Do it once gently first, see what it does. Or not.
Yeah! Whoa, 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 whoa. You're up, baby!
Long dog.
Haven't been a long dog. Yeah, buddy!
Yeah.
First time up 6 Stage, the long dog.
Yeah, and he's driven the hardest step. That's
Yeah,
good.
That's mint.
Yeah,
Well
long
done,
wheelbase.
Kaido.
Long wheelbase really helped there, eh?
Definitely. Yeah, like he had enough momentum, like his front was still in a good spot and his rear just had enough space to get
up.
Yeah.
The front was completely up before the back was climbing.
Yeah, whereas with us, we would have to be halfway up that step to try the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That worked for me.
No, that was really good. Kaido.
Well done, mate.
Thanks for the spot, mate.
Good drive.
Well done.
That's sick.
Good
Six
job.
stage done, eh?
Yeah, mate. First time up, you nailed it.
Yeah, how do you
loved it.
feel?
Awesome. Yeah, feels good to get up a bit.
Well, the good
Yeah.
news is, boys, that's track 1. Now we've got to head up the coast and try some more harder tracks, eh? What do you reckon?
Yeah, hopefully it's similar to this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, we've got 2 more tough wheeling destinations marked down for this road trip, and plenty more action ahead that'll test out all the rigs.
Well, that's 6 stage done and dusted. One thing I think that's pretty cool about this trip is the fact that there's 3 generations of HiLux on here. You've got the Pony, which is another 106, sort of 94 that model is. We've got this one, which is 2002, which is the 6th generation or so. And then Kaido's one, which is an N70. Got me wondering though, which one of these HiLuxes would you choose? If you had to take one on this trip, which one would you want? The Sassy Boy, the Pony, or Kaido's high horsepower weapon? Let us know in the comments below, eh?
Soon enough, we've made it to the top of the climb. Now, there's only one way to celebrate finishing a night run on one of Australia's toughest tracks, and it's something we're going to have to punt back to the nearest town in search of.
Hey mate, you got a copy, mate?
Hey, Jocko, mate.
Big day on 6 stage. What do you reckon we fuel up, eh?
Yeah, it was a big 2 days, really, wasn't it? But I'm definitely due for some food and fuel.
Yeah, you know what that means, mate? Rhymes with Dirty Bird. What do you reckon we stop off and have a little yummy boy?
Oh, it'd be a crime not to, wouldn't it?
100%. All right, well, I can see it from here. I can smell the chicken, actually. I'm excited.
Well, mate, I'll see you in the car park.
Sounds good. Hey, mate. Thanks. Oh, yummy boys. I'm only allowed it as a special treat when I've been a good boy.
The old Yummy Boys is a bit of a secret 4Drive 24/7 tradition, and with some chicken on board, it's time to hit up our next tough wheeling destination, the Watagans. Now, the Wattos offers a range of tracks to suit every skill level, but it's also home to some absolute belters, and we've got a few lined up. Soon, we're up to our next air down spot, and once again, we're dropping our pressures down to around 10 psi. On the way, we've also been able to pick up another important spare.
Righto, so we're up here in the Wattos. We've got a couple of tough tracks to do. I learnt my lesson after getting lazy on 6 stage and not changing to my feed shaft, but I ended up picking up another good tail shaft on the way up, so I swapped this in for the drive, and now I'm going to swap my feed shaft in for the tracks we're going to do. So an awesome thing about the Watagans is there's lots of different tough tracks to choose from, unlike Yalwal, where 6 stage is, I guess, the most difficult one. At the Watagans, you've got lots of different difficult tracks that you can pick and choose. So for example, they're quite spread out. We've got a couple we're gonna do here down the south end, but you could come up here, spend a couple of days exploring, and you'd find plenty of tough tracks to do. First things first, I'm gonna put the old feed shaft in and we'll hit this one up.
Day 2, Track 2. And this one is a locals only special on the south side of the Watagans. It's a short and sharp little number that makes a perfect introduction to what's on offer in the area.
This one's not a very long one, but super rocky and pretty challenging. Like most tracks in the Wattos, it's covered by a lot of canopy from the trees, so the rocks don't get a lot of sun on them, so they get quite slippery. So it'll be interesting to see how we go. And I'm already in this big rut, so it should be fun.
The rocks on this track are pretty darn wild, and getting your line wrong is going to put your panels in strife.
So what are you thinking, Jock? Just hug the bank the whole way, mate, and then swing around to the left and not fall into this big hole?
That's the plan. Yeah, if you could just let us know when to swing left.
Righto!
This is one that could definitely destroy your car if you get wrong.
Righto, left, left, left. Yep. Now come back right. Lovely, mate. It's a tight fit, but she got through.
Very nice.
I've gotten through that one okay, but that was just the intro. Ideally here you want to ride that driver's side bank, but it's not as easy as it looks.
Yep, just take it nice and slow. It might not feel too good.
Oh, that scares me every single time.
Now that I'm firmly in the rut, this drive just got a bit more sketchy.
Yeah, so go back and do that again.
No, from there, because it's got to come forward another 150 mil. Nah.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
So Jock's coming up over this big rock here. He's slipped into the rut, which wouldn't normally be an issue, but at the moment he's not running the rear sway bar, which is causing the vehicle to lay against the bank rather than damage the vehicle. We're just going to give it a little tug, pull the front down, and he should drive straight out.
What an angle.
I'd love to keep my panel straight here, but this track seems to have other ideas.
Righto.
Far out.
All right, now just drive forward. You probably don't need to winch, but just trust your button, all right? That's it, brother. Righto, left hand down. Sick.
That felt a bit wild, eh? That was real close to the end there, even on the rear.
Yeah. Well done, mate.
Out.
Unbelievably, I'm through pretty much unscathed. Well, so far at least.
Thanks, dude. That's the spot. Come to me, come to me, come to me.
There it goes, there it goes.
Yeah. That's it, dude. Keep it coming over that route there. A little bit left. Yeah. Now right.
That's the line.
You're just on your diff, but it's off now. Through there. So this is where you're going to have to probably give it a bump, Jock.
Yep.
Because there's no traction.
Okay.
Woo!
Yeah, I think I might winch from there.
Shaft is loving it. Good job. Bit of right, bit of right, bit of right. Perfect, mate. You're up. All right, woo.
Oh. The tailboard's hanging off the back. Might want to fix that. Lol. Who built that? That's not a MITS alloy.
Well, this track has proven to be pretty hectic already, but there's one more rock step to clear before we can bring up the next rig.
Yeah, mate. Let's try not to do a reenactment of the last rock.
The tyres are banging out pretty good, hey?
Yeah, mate. They're looking good.
Traction dog.
Right, and go. Drive Tech Man was no longer needed.
Reduction gears, baby!
Diff rock. Oh, you got it.
What a rig! Good job, Luxy. We nearly pinned it, not once, not twice, but thrice. And you did well.
One down, two to go.
A little bit of right, mate. Yep, that's it.
They say every inch matters, and unfortunately in this case, the pony has come up a little short. With a lack of clearance, that is.
It's on the diff or something.
Yeah, it's rear diff on that rock.
You have to winch me, mate.
Yeah. So I just hooking up to winch Matt up, but he said the tub's in the bank, so I'll just have to wait and see how it looks. Hopefully it'll be okay. Stop there. Pull the winch in. Pull you down. You might just have to drive through that, maybe.
Look, it wasn't pretty, but the pony's through with a few extra love taps for good measure.
Well, the tub isn't too bad. The good thing about it is... Oh, maybe...
Hang on, let me hold it.
Yeah.
Okay. Done. Wouldn't even know.
Let's not show that bit.
We just need a few more rivets.
Yeah.
Done that. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Bit of right hand down, mate. That's it. Turn or straight?
Just as I did, Matt's aiming to stay on the driver's bank and he's almost managed it, but in the end that bank is just a little too slippery and the pony slips in. With bar work all round, Matt can afford to try and ride it out against the wall, or so he thought.
We're in trouble now. Bead's done, mirror's caught.
Can you winch me over? We'll pop the bead back on.
That's a pretty unfortunate place to do a bead. and we're going to have to try and get the pony levelled out before we can look at it. And that means taking it over the rock step on the rim. It's not going to be pretty.
There we go.
Where's the crack? Is he right?
Yeah, he's gonna go around it.
With a flat spot to work in, we've got the spare tyre on in no time, and fortunately, these wheels are as tough as nails, so we'll be able to pop the bead back on at camp, and Matt is on his way to the top.
Come on, pony. Last step. Let's get up. That's better.
Well, next up is the long dog Kaido. I reckon he'll nail it up here. The good thing is his front tyre's about there when his
And I
tray's
mean,
down there.
if he used a quarter of his horsepower, he would still get up quicker than both of us.
Unlike us, Kaido's opted here to start in the rut, which saves any surprises later.
Fold your mirror in, Kaido.
Nice one, mate. Yes.
Would you look at that, he's absolutely nailed it. The N70 is proving to be a bit of a Watto's monster, with that extra power and wheelbase giving Kaido an edge.
Like that.
That is, provided he can keep it on the track, eh?
Done it, Jock.
With the Luxie on an awkward 45-degree angle to the slope and the tray in the bank, quick winch is the best option here.
Left hand down, mate.
Okay, on to the last challenge.
Come on, Kaido, show us how to do it. Run away!
Swim away, swim away.
Yes, get there!
You've really got to commit to your line on this final step, and Kaido's sticking to his guns.
Easy, mate.
And just like that, we're all through.
Well, the Watto's definitely turns it on. That was a pretty insane track, but I reckon now it's time for camp.
After 2 big tracks in 2 days, we're keen to find a nice spot to roll out the swags, and I've got just the place. Not far away on a local farm.
Well, boys, that was a hectic day in the Watto's. A pretty tough track and a good bit of fun, but something tells me by the looks of the views around us, we're in for a pretty special campsite tonight. What do you reckon, eh?
Yeah, mate, the views here are magnificent. I hope the campground's just as good.
And would you look at that, a perfect camp spot with a view directly over the Watagans. Perfect way to put the icing on a big couple of days. I'm going to go a bit fancy tonight. I'm even going to crank up the travel oven for a few tasty treats. Matt's getting on board with the promise of some deep fried hot chips later, while Kaido's brought to the table one of Drifter's nifty fire pits from their Stockton range. All in all, this is shaping up to be a pretty decent campsite for a hard wheeling road trip. We've got a stack more wheeling ahead of us, but for now, it's nice to kick back for a bit with a cold beer by a warm fire.
Garlic bread. How unreal is this campsite, eh? Beautiful little grassy spot out the back of the Watagans, got a nice view of the mountains. Even though we're doing some tough tracks, it is nice to find a beautiful campsite like this. As you can probably tell, we're traveling pretty light with these vehicles, don't have canopies or super tourist setups on the back, but
Kaido's brought one of these Drifter Stockton fire pits with him, and it's worked out mint because it packs up away real nice and small, but when it's open you can chuck some charcoal in there and it cooks really nicely. It gives all your food a real nice flavour as well, so it's good to chuck in the back for when you're even doing tougher tracks like this. Speaking of which, we've got plenty more to do, so I reckon we get this food into us, get an early night, and hit some more tough tracks tomorrow. Coming up on our New South Wales road trip, we've got more wheeling lined up in the Watagans before we take on a destination that's known as the heartland of tough wheeling on Australia's east coast, Coffs Harbour. But unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this week, so you're just going to have to stay tuned for the next instalment of this adventure.
Into it, mate, yeah!
Trust me when I say though, things only get wilder from here. Wheel lists get bigger, the water gets deeper, the weather turns south, and a breakage nearly strands us on the track.
That's not ideal.
So stay tuned.
Yep. It's cost one thing. Get the winch. Get the winch.